Slide 1, Technology in the Workplace, How Assistive and Mainstream Technologies Transform Work for Individuals with Disabilities. Hello and welcome. My name is Jake Hassinger, and I'm an accessibility specialist providing Section 508 support to both the Disability Innovation Fund, or DIF, Technical Assistance, or TA, and National Clearinghouse of Rehabilitation Training Materials, or NCRTM, teams. During this session on technology in the workplace, we'll be discussing how assistive and mainstream technologies are transforming work for individuals with disabilities. We'll cover what's new, what works, and how to implement solutions that promote participation in the workplace. Slide 2, Learning Objectives. Let's start by covering our objectives for this session. First, we'll discuss assistive technology and mainstream technology. We'll define them and understand the differences between them. Next, we'll discuss use cases and benefits of assistive technologies that support individuals with disabilities. We'll explore strategies to ensure that the technology we use fosters workplace participation. We'll cover some real-world user stories. Finally, we'll discuss implementation strategies for competitive integrated employment, or CIE. Slide 3, Foundations. First, let's cover some foundational topics. Slide 4, Assistive and Mainstream Technologies, an overview. Let's dive into assistive and mainstream technologies. What are they and how do they differ? Assistive technology is any item, equipment, software, or other system that enhances the functional capabilities of individuals with disabilities. These tools are purpose-built to remove barriers to communication, mobility, learning, and work. An example of assistive technology would be a screen reader. It's specifically designed to help people with vision loss or blindness to read and understand content. Mainstream technologies are everyday tools, devices, and software used by the general population. While not designed solely for individuals with disabilities, these technologies often contain built-in accessibility features that support a wide range of users. An example of this would be smartphones. Many options today have accessibility features that can be toggled on and off. In recent years, the line between assistive and mainstream technologies has begun to blur. As previously mentioned, mainstream technologies are increasingly incorporating accessibility features that either function as assistive technology or work alongside it. Ultimately, both types of technology are essential. Assistive technology ensures that specific needs are met, while mainstream tools with accessible features increase independence, creating a holistic digital environment for all users. Slide 5, How assistive and mainstream technologies level the playing field. AT and increasingly accessible mainstream tools are transforming the modern workplace by empowering individuals with disabilities to perform tasks, communicate, and collaborate more effectively. These tools help remove barriers and promote independence, productivity, and participation so that all employees can contribute their talents on an equal footing. So how are assistive technologies and some mainstream technologies leveling the playing field in the workplace? They provide individuals with tools and strategies to navigate their environments and communicate more effectively, empowering them to participate more fully and independently. Displayed on slide 5 is a table of examples Let's go through these together. Assistive technologies for employees with visual impairments include screen readers, which convert digital text into synthesized speech, allowing users to access emails, documents, and websites without needing to see the screen. Braille displays convert on-screen content into Braille output for users who read tactile text. Magnification software enlarges screen elements for employees with low vision. High contrast display settings and keyboard shortcuts help reduce eye strain and make on-screen navigation more efficient and accessible. Assistive technologies for employees who are deaf or hard of hearing include live captioning services, which provide real-time text captions during meetings, presentations, and video calls. Video relay services, or VRS, enable telephone communication through a sign language interpreter. Visual alert systems use flashing lights, vibration, or on-screen notifications, along with auditory alarms or signals, ensuring that critical alerts are still perceived. Assistive technologies for employees with cognitive or learning disabilities include text-to-speech software, which helps with reading comprehension by reading aloud written content, including complex instructions or lengthy documents. Speech-to-text tools convert spoken language into written text, aiding employees who have difficulty with typing or written communication. And task management and organizational apps support executive functioning by helping users manage priorities, deadlines, and reminders. Finally, assistive technologies for employees with mobility impairments include ergonomic devices, such as customized keyboards, trackballs, or head pointers, which allow employees with limited mobility to interact with computers. Voice recognition software enables hands-free control of a computer, allowing users to dictate emails, navigate applications, and execute commands using speech. Many commonly used mainstream technologies with built-in accessibility tools now include accessibility features that either serve as assistive technologies or work in conjunction with assistive devices. These tools are not necessarily designed solely for people with disabilities, but their adaptability and features make them incredibly valuable. Here are some examples: smartphones, laptops, and tablets. Most mobile and desktop operating systems now come with built-in screen readers, voice control, magnification, and dictation tools. Productivity software such as Microsoft Office, Google Docs offer accessibility checkers, alt text functionality, speech tools, and navigation features like headings and lists. Communication platforms such as Microsoft Teams and Zoom include live captions, transcript generation, and keyboard navigation to make virtual meetings more accessible. And web browsers offer extensions and settings for text enlargement, dark modes, and screen reader support. The convergence of assistive and mainstream technologies is reducing the need for specialized tools and promoting broader access to essential resources. Many mainstream tools now include functionality that either replaces traditional assistive devices or enhances them, making it easier for employees with disabilities to engage in the workplace without requiring additional software or hardware. This shift benefits entire organizations by increasing productivity and improving employee satisfaction. Slide 6, strengths of assistive and mainstream technologies. Let's take a closer look at some of the key strengths of assistive and mainstream technologies and how they work together to support accessibility in the workplace. Built-in accessibility features in everyday tools. One of the greatest strengths of both assistive and mainstream technologies is the increasing presence of built-in accessibility features in tools many employees already use daily. For instance, applications in the Microsoft Office suite like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint include features such as alt text for images, heading styles, color contrast checkers, and accessibility checkers. These features make it possible for all users to create accessible content by default without needing to download or install separate assistive tools. This built-in functionality reduces the burden on IT teams and makes accessibility a shared responsibility across the organization. Next, for ease of use and access to learning resources. So another key advantage is ease of use. Because mainstream technologies are widely adopted across workplaces, there's a robust ecosystem of support. We have tutorials, webinars, help articles, community forums, and expert guidance. This makes it easier for individuals with all skill levels to learn how to create accessible content and use accessibility tools. Employers can quickly find guidance on things like adding alt text, structuring documents correctly, using captions, and more. The abundance of learning resources makes it more feasible for organizations to scale accessibility efforts without requiring intensive technical training. For seamless integration and support for universal design, what sets many of these tools apart is how their features are designed to work together, promoting universal design. Let's take Microsoft Word as an example. Using the heading styles enables things like automatic creation of a table of contents. These headings also feed into the navigation pane, making it easier for all users to browse a document. For screen reader users, these headings create a clear structure that allows efficient document navigation and improves comprehension. Each feature reinforces the others, creating a layered system of accessibility that benefits users with and without disabilities. This approach reflects the principles of universal design, designing products and environments to be usable by all people to the greatest extent possible without the need for adaptation. Slide 7, limitations of assistive and mainstream technologies. While assistive and mainstream technologies have come a long way, it's important to recognize that there are still limitations and challenges to address. Let's start with compatibility issues. These can occur between assistive devices and workplace tools or systems. Often, such issues are identified during the software selection process. Your IT department can play a critical role here by evaluating tools early during planning and procurement. They can help avoid major compatibility challenges down the line. Compatibility also affects end users. When producing accessible content, it's important to consider the formats your audience typically uses. For example, not everyone has access to Microsoft Word or Excel, but most people can open a PDF in a browser. With the increasing number of mobile-only users, it's also essential to ensure that content is mobile-friendly and responsive. It's worth noting that assistive technology is often compatible with most document formats, but only if those documents are created properly. For instance, generating a PDF using print to PDF can result in an image-based document that screen readers cannot interpret. This is a poor experience for users who rely on AT. Next, let's talk about the learning curve. Introducing new technology or onboarding new employees to an existing tech stack can present challenges. While many users are familiar with tools like Microsoft Word, they may not know how to use its accessibility features, such as properly applying headings or alt text. A helpful approach is to create an internal style guide or quick reference sheet that explains how to use these features, ensuring that new content creators are set up for success. Then there are accessibility barriers, which can arise when bringing in new technologies, producing content, or onboarding employees with disabilities. It's important to have open conversations with new employees about their needs and be responsive when they identify barriers in the workflow. Just because something has been done a certain way doesn't mean that it can't or shouldn't evolve. Imagine starting a new job and being sat down in front of a 1960s mainframe. expected to complete your work with outdated technology. It would feel absurd. Yet this is what some employees who rely on assistive technology can experience when their workplace tools aren't accessible or compatible. The good news is that with today's assistive technologies and built-in accessibility features of mainstream technologies, solutions are readily available. When selecting new technologies, be sure to review the vendor's VPAT, or Voluntary Product Accessibility Template, also sometimes referred to as an Accessibility Conformance Report. This document outlines any known accessibility limitations and can help ensure that the technology you choose won't create new barriers in your workplace. Finally, remember that new employees with disabilities will likely come in with their own preferred assistive devices. Be open to integrating these into your environment and offer them any support they need. Slide 8, best practices for assistive and mainstream technologies. Foster a workplace environment that embraces assistive and mainstream accessibility technology. The foundation of successful technology integration is how we build it into our workflow. A supportive workplace environment normalizes conversations about assistive technology and accessibility features built into mainstream tools. Train leadership and staff to understand both assistive technology and accessible features in commonly used platforms. This paves the way for a workplace where everyone is empowered to do their jobs. Assess individual needs. No two employees are the same, including in how they access and interact with technology. Conduct individual needs assessments that involve the employee in selecting tools they prefer, whether that's specialized assistive technology or mainstream platforms with built-in accessibility features. Consider bringing in vocational rehabilitation professionals or assistive technology specialists to help guide the process. Choose accessible, compatible tools. When selecting technology, prioritize accessibility and compatibility with assistive technology. Review VPATs to identify any limitations. Favor mainstream tools that work well with assistive technology and support different user needs out of the box, such as those with built-in accessibility settings. These tools can often serve dual purposes, functioning both as everyday workplace solutions and as accommodations for employees with disabilities. Provide training and support. Technology, whether assistive or mainstream, is only effective when users know how to use it. Provide training not just for individuals using assistive technologies, but for their teams, supervisors, and support staff. Include guidance on how to make documents accessible, how to use built-in features like alt text and captioning, and where to find tutorials and support materials. Then ensure training materials themselves are accessible. Build accessibility into daily workflows. Accessibility should be an everyday practice, not an add-on. Encourage staff to use accessible templates, including alt text and headings in documents, and run accessibility checks before distributing materials. Mainstream tools like Microsoft Office and Google Workspace offer built-in accessibility features that make this easier. These steps help make content usable for everyone. Plan for maintenance and upgrades. Like any technology, assistive technology requires updates and support. Ensure that assistive tools and any relevant mainstream platforms are regularly tested for compatibility, especially after updates. Allocate time and resources for upgrades, user feedback, and troubleshooting. Include accessible technology and training in your broader IT and budget planning processes. Then document and review. Finally, integrate accessibility into your continuous improvement strategy. Document accommodations, track the effectiveness of assistive technologies and mainstream tools in supporting employees, and regularly seek feedback from users. Evaluate workflows and technology usage to ensure they remain accessible and aligned with evolving employee needs. Slide 9. What's emerging? Let's look at some of the latest advancements in assistive and mainstream technologies. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is rapidly transforming the accessibility landscape, offering adaptive support that goes far beyond traditional tools. Microsoft Copilot integrates AI directly into Microsoft Office tools like Word, Excel, and Outlook. For users with cognitive disabilities or anyone who finds written communication challenging, Copilot can assist with drafting emails, summarizing long documents, organizing data, or turning notes into clear action items. It reduces the complexity of tasks and enhances productivity for a wide range of users. Google Lookout is an AI-powered app designed for individuals with visual impairments. By using a smartphone's camera, it can identify objects, scan and read text aloud, and describe scenes in real time. This empowers users to navigate spaces independently, read labels or mail, and interact with their environments more confidently. These tools illustrate how AI can act like a built-in assistant, anticipating employees' needs, streamlining tasks, and making content more usable for all employees. Wearable devices are redefining mobility and communication for individuals with disabilities by offering discrete real-time support. Haptic feedback wearables, such as vibrating wristbands or shoes, use vibration patterns to guide users through physical spaces. These tools can supplement or replace traditional navigation cues, offering a non-visual, intuitive way to stay oriented in complex environments like transit hubs or office buildings. Smart glasses are another innovation with multiple accessibility applications. Some models offer real-time captioning, converting spoken language into text directly in the user's field of vision, which is ideal for individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing. Others incorporate object recognition and navigation assistance, helping users with visual impairments detect obstacles, read signage, or identify faces. These wearables extend the reach of assistive technology into new environments, making accessibility support mobile, contextual, and user-driven. Major technology platforms are also making accessibility more seamless by baking assistive features directly into their operating systems. Apple Voice Control allows users to fully operate an iPhone, iPad, or Mac using only voice commands. This is transformative for users with limited mobility, allowing for hands-free control of apps, typing, and navigation, even dictating and editing text with precision. Windows Narrator, Microsoft's built-in screen reader, offers natural voices, navigation support, and compatibility with apps and websites. It's a critical tool for individuals who are blind or visually impaired and want to access digital content without relying on a mouse or touchscreen. These advancements show how mainstream operating systems are allowing users to personalize how they interact with their devices based on their individual needs. Together, these advancements in AI, wearables, and platform-level accessibility are creating a more empowering technology landscape. They're breaking down barriers through personalized assistance, mobility support, or smart interaction with digital content. Importantly, many of these features now come standard in mainstream devices, reducing the cost and stigma sometimes associated with traditional assistive technology. Slide 10, practical application. Anytime we're implementing or considering technologies, peer experiences and stories can help us better understand our own users and their needs. We're going to start by talking with Dr. Aisha Torres from Florida Atlantic University. Slide 11, Florida Atlantic Universities, or FAU, Access Tech. For question 1, how does your project use technology to support individuals with disabilities in building skills or preparing for employment?
Thank you, Jake. Our project, Access Tech, leverages technology to open career pathways for individuals with disabilities in high-demand fields like cybersecurity, cloud computing, and computer-aided design and 3D printing. This includes online training programs that are accessible and tailored for all learning needs. We provide cutting-edge gamification models combined with an interactive platform designed for self-paced learning. Each training track is designed in direct collaboration with employers to ensure these skills translate immediately to real job opportunities. To bridge the gap between training and employment, we also include paid internships, helping participants gain hands-on experience and build professional networks that are crucial for long-term success.
And question 2, can you share a story or example of how a participant benefited from your program or tools?
We're excited to share that we just started our program this year, and our application portal went live 3 months ago. Since then, we have welcomed our first pilot cohort, which includes participants with a wide range of disabilities, including deafness, blindness, autism, and mental health challenges. It's an incredibly diverse and talented group, and we're already seeing the potential of what we can achieve together. It's still early days, but I can't wait to share some success stories as our participants move through the program and start putting their new skills to use.
And question 3, what lessons have you learned about implementing accessible technology that you would share with others doing similar work?
Well, one of the biggest lessons we have learned is the importance of co-designing programs with both participants and the stakeholders. By involving individuals with disabilities and employers in the design process, we have ensured that our tools are not only accessible, but also directly relevant to the skills and opportunities our participants need. Another key takeaway is the value of wrap-around support systems like mentorship to complement technology training. Finally, consistent feedback is vital. Regular evaluation and adjustments have helped us optimize our program to meet participants' needs and industry demands effectively.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Torres.
Thank you, Jake.
Slide 12, Blind Institute of Technology, or BIT. Let's take a look at a real-world example of how technology is transforming employment outcomes for individuals with disabilities. The Blind Institute of Technology, or BIT, is doing some powerful work through their BIT Academy and registered apprenticeship programs. Their mission is simple but impactful: close the employment gap for professionals with disabilities. They do this by equipping participants with the tools and certifications they need to succeed, including Salesforce administration, digital accessibility analysis, and project management. BIT doesn't just teach about technology, they model accessibility through the entire experience. For example, their Salesforce training is delivered through platforms like Zoom and Google Meet because of their built-in accessibility features. One participant, Aaron, shared his story during National Apprenticeship Week. He talked about how the training and support he received through BIT helped him launch a meaningful career. His story is one of what's possible when accessibility is built into the foundation of a program. To access Aaron's story, a link is provided on the slide, as well as in the YouTube description below. BIT makes sure every course is fully accessible before it even starts. Since they teach digital accessibility, they're able to test their own programs and are happy to share their technology with others. Slide 13, contact information. Thank you for participating in this session. If you have any questions or need additional support related to assistive technology or accessibility, please contact the NCRTM at ncrtm@neweditions.net. If you have any other questions related to your grant project, please contact the DIF Technical Assistance Team at difta@neweditions.net or your DIF Technical Assistance Liaison. Thank you for joining us today. This concludes today's session on technology in the workplace, how assistive and mainstream technologies transform work for individuals with disabilities.
Disclaimer. The contents of this presentation were developed under contract 9199-0023 D0037-9199-0024 F0395 from the U.S. Department of Education Department. The department does not mandate or prescribe practices, models, or other activities described or discussed in this presentation. The contents of this presentation may contain examples of, adaptations of, and links to resources created and maintained by another public or private organization. The department does not control or guarantee the accuracy, relevance, timeliness, or completeness of this outside information. The contents of this presentation does not necessarily represent the policy of the department. This presentation is not intended to represent the views or policy of, or be an endorsement of any views expressed or materials provided by any federal agency. Edgar 75.620.